Fun? Good evening, Mikdash. I'm happy to be back here and see all these wonderful boys. It's a big change of atmosphere. I'm coming from the Knesset now. I was a few hours in the Knesset, going from one side to the opposite side. Baruch Hashem. Ma'alim Bakodesh. So as you know, this place is Baruch Hashem the best place in the world to come when you're young. 2-3 years you elevate your neshama to the very high level. It gives you ammunition for the rest of your life. Baruch Hashem, hundreds of boys came out of here and became wonderful Bnei Torah. But of course, you know, the Satan is not sleeping. He has his agenda. The last thing he wants is to see someone comes here 50-50 and live here in a much higher level. He would try to drag you down. Take you here, take you there, distract your mind from Avodat Hashem. Ele keneged ele bara Hashem. Should know, one of the most important thing in Avodat Hashem is dvekut. You have to be דבוק בקדוש ברוך הוא. ואתם הדבקים בהשם אלוקיכם, חיים כולכם היום. Every time in the Torah it says the word חיים, it talks about life of eternity. There's no such thing חיים in this world, because once you're born you begin to die. Right? As soon as you're born, your battery begins to die. 100, 99, 97, and nobody knows how long is his battery. Some people have 40 years battery, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, depends. And also, you know, when you have a battery in your phone, if you put the light on and you put music on, the battery dies a lot faster. If you put it on battery saver, you give it extra 20%. That's what life is. If you commit sins, the battery dies faster. If you put it on battery saver, meaning you're saving your neshama, it doesn't die so fast. You have extra years of life. It's all psukim in the Torah. It says in Sefer Yechezkel, one of the main prophets we had, that Hashem swear on his name, Ki lo achpotz bemot hamet. I'm not interested to execute the dead. How can you execute the dead? He's already dead, man. You can execute him as much as you want. He doesn't feel anything. From here we learn that someone that is disconnected from Hashem is considered dead, spiritually. He may make millions, he may enjoy his motorcycle or whatever he does, play basketball, go to Ben Yehuda Street. He does a lot of things that looks that he's live and kicking. You know, happy, smiling, live in illusion. But in reality, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, every minute of this period of time in his life, it's counted like he's dead. It's like shutting the device. You're dead. Once you connect again, from this moment on, you're back to life. So in the entire 70, 80, 90 years we will be here, in average, it's a combination of life and death. You're alive, you die. You're alive, you die. This is how it goes. Depends what you do. If you sit and learn Torah, ki em chayenu v'orech yamenu, you're definitely alive. The more you learn, the more life you have. If you do other things, not always it's count like life. So the question is, when you ask a person that is Yirei Shamayim, what we call frum, you ask him, how do you reach dvekut in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? You want to be attached to Hashem. The book, ואתם הדבקים בהשם אלוקיכם, חיים, it's life, you have life. How do you reach that level? One person would say, Hasidic music makes me feel that I'm very connected to Hashem. Some people would say, סיפורי צדיקים. I hear about the life of the tzadikim, connects me to Hashem. Some people would say a good kugel and chulent on Shabbos with some whiskey. I feel the good person. Some people have their own illusions, you know. Everybody translates the kut in a different way. But there's one thing no one argues. One thing unanimously. You want to be attached to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to be Ben Torah. If you're not Ben Torah, you will never taste the life of the Shekhinah. Never. You just be a robot who keeps mitzvot, putting tefillin 5 minutes, you know, doing whatever you do. It's never reaching the truth. But the real ultimate way to become Davek B'Hashem is, how do you reach the kut? Remember this. To remove all the obstacle between you and Hashem. That's the kut. You are here, your neshama is here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. Your neshama is connected to Hashem, just like a device and a Wi-Fi. They have a connection. What happens if you put obstacle between them? The device will not get anything, no signal. So what's happening here? When Hashem created us, in each one of our body, He put a spark from Himself. Man de nafach, midele ke nafach. Chazal say, Vayipach be'apav nishmat chaim, when Hashem put neshama in Adam Arishon, Vayi Adam lenefesh chaya. After the neshama entered, he became alive. And once the neshama leaves, he dies immediately. Meaning life is the presence of the neshama inside the body. The neshama is eternal because a part of the neshama is a spark from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even though the neshama is a creation, Hashem created it, but in order for the neshama to survive for eternity, he had to put a part of himself in it. A spark of Hashem, nitzotz Eloki. That's what keeps the neshama alive for eternity. The neshama can never die. Also, the neshama, as you know, it's 100% spiritual, so you can divide it to 1,000 bodies. It does not decrease from the power of the neshama. Sometimes a person can come to the world in few different bodies, like Hevel, Cain and Hevel. Cain came back as Yitro, and Hevel came back as Cain came back as Yitro, and Hevel came back as Moshe and the Egyptian that Moshe killed. In the same generation, Hevel was in 2 bodies, because Hashem needed to do a tikkun for Cain. So Cain, first he has to get killed, but legally, not murder, kill legally, and he's about to kill a Jew. So Moshe comes and kills the Egyptian. It's like Hevel killing Cain according to halacha. Very good. Mida keneged mida. Just like Hillel saying Pirkei Avot. You see a skeleton in the water, someone murdered it, right? And the one that you see right now murdered someone. Meaning, akol mida keneged mida. Just like that famous video that I once put on my social media, that there is this autistic kid that somebody came and asked him questions, and is not able to communicate normally. And he asked him, and he's typing on a computer. He asked him, why you like this? And he said, Hashem sent me to the world like this because I did things in my past life that he didn't like. Didn't want to say what in the first time. Then the rabbi asked him, what did you do? He said, I spoke things that I were not supposed to speak. And he kept pushing. What exactly did you speak? He said, I spoke Lashon Hara about other people, made Hashem very angry, and he sent me like this, mida keneged mida. And you know that an autistic kid is not an actor in Hollywood, right? He doesn't know how to put a role here. Very innocently, typing the answers, and you see once he's answering, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent him like this? Why? Mida keneged mida. He made averot with his mouth and his ears. He came back to the world with disability in his mouth and his ears. And the brain suffered. And he has to be X amount of years, and that's it. He finished with his tikkun. Then he can go to his place in heaven. Same thing Cain. How are you going to correct the neshama of Cain? He has to be killed because he killed. Moshe killed the Egyptian. And also, why did he kill? because Evel had 2 twins with him and Cain had only 1, like the Midrash say. He was jealous. Oh, you have 2 girls and I have only 1? That's what we say, Akash sheshavar et gav hagamal. You have a tons of weight on the back of the camel and it's still surviving. You take 1 straw and you put it on top. Well, how much a straw weight? 1 gram. It's nothing. You don't even feel it in your hand. But that 1 gram that you put on his back made him collapse. So if somebody asks you why the camel collapsed, I put 1 gram on his back. Obviously it's not the case. It was 1 gram in addition to the 1 ton that he already had. But that was it. That's it. That's the borderline. So he was jealous for other reasons, but that was the main thing that he killed him. So now Yitro has to give his daughter Tzipora to Moshe because Cain has to give a girl to Evel because he killed him for a girl. It's all Gilgulim. Everything is Gilgulim. So how do you remove the obstacle? The more obstacle you remove, the more connection you have to Hashem. And the way it is, Rabotai, when a person commits sins, each sin creates a klipa around his neshama. That's what the Zohar said, the Ari, that the more sins you commit by watching things that you're not supposed to, going to places you're not supposed to go, you know, I don't have to tell you, you know exactly what cannot be done. Once a person fall and fail when it comes to fighting his Yetzer Hara, every time he commits something that he's not supposed to, it creates another layer around his neshama. The more layers he has around the neshama, the more darkness the neshama is. No connection to the source. And a person is depressed and sad, doesn't want to live. And sometimes it ends with committing suicide. He has no purpose for his life. Can make millions, can have millions, is famous. He himself doesn't want to be here. Suffer. Why? Marash Chora it's called. Be there in black. But once you break through this klipot, and nothing can help more than Torah, Amal Torah, once you do that, the more you do it, the more the light of the Shekhinah you begin to see. And then it's like a magnet. Your neshama wants to be close to Hashem. The body is the obstacle. All the shtuyot around. The neshama always want to be attached to Hashem. It's like Hashem is pulling the neshama to him. But there's obstacle who ruins the whole thing. That's why, Rabotai, these years are critical years. First, to build your character. To build you as a Ben Torah. And also to determine what kind of wife you're going to have. Because the Gemara in Masechet Sota, the Gemara says shama, מזווגים לו לאדם זיווג לפי מעשיו. אמר איש לקיש, you're going to get, the wife that you're going to get is according to who you are. If you reach a very high level, Hashem's going to have to give you a girl that is a very high level. If you're going to be 50-50, you will have to get a 50-50. Problem is with 50-50, people have ups and downs. If she's going to have a crisis or two, she can go down to 20. And then your house is destroyed. So the idea is you don't want to compromise. You don't want to hope or to count on a miracle. You want to aim to the highest level. But you're not going to get the highest level if you yourself are 50-50. If you're one leg in Bet HaMidrash and one leg in Ben Yehuda or in a basketball court, it's very, very difficult. Because Hashem says, this guy is not 100% devoted. En lo dvekut. He has dvekut to the shtuyot. But to the main thing, you know, you have to know one thing. The Chafetz Chaim did the calculation 100 years ago. Chafetz Chaim said that an hour of a person is 60,000 mitzvot. 60,000 mitzvot. How did he come to that number? An average person can say 200 words per minute. And each word has 5 letters. So that's 1,000 letters per minute. Each letter from the Torah is mitzvah taseh. So that's 1,000 mitzvot deoraita per minute. Multiply by 60 minutes. which is an hour, 60,000 mitzvot. An average day over here, at least minimum 10 hours, 600,000 mitzvot per day. And if you become Rav Aaron Leib Steinemann, double it. It's 20 hours a day. So that's over 1 million mitzvot a day. If you're the Chazon Ish, every second of your life is mitzvot. Chazon Ish could have stayed 3 days straight without sleeping and eating. He said, I never felt hungry. People had to remind him to ask him if he ate today. The Stipler, the same thing. The Stipler used to get a cookie for lunch, not to waste time. Every day, his shamash used to give him a cookie. One time, the shamash said, anyway, doesn't eat the cookie. And he felt like he wants to have the cookie. He said, anyway, he won't realize. He doesn't know. So the shamash ate the cookie. And then the Stipler, the Stipler later, what happened is a piece from the sheetrock fell on the table, and he actually ate that. And he didn't understand why he's eating that, because there was no cookie, so he ate that. So it wasn't in this world, Bichlal. It was not in this world. Rav Shach one time went to get a watermelon for his wife. He was walking in the street with the Gemara. I sit here, I learn Gemara. I walk in the shuk, I learn Gemara. Anyway, I'm not here. But when he came back, she said, where is the watermelon? He was like that, but there's no watermelon. It fell and didn't realize. This is people who lived 25 years ago. 25 years ago. Rav Steinemann, there were kids in a yeshiva, he was very skinny and short. You know how sometimes you have evil kids, they want to play games? They put all kinds of things in his bed with glue, hoping it's going to stick to him, like some kind of a piece of paper. And then they came and they saw after 3 days that it's still there. That's when they realized he doesn't even go to sleep in bed. They didn't even realize, it was no in yeshiva. So, Rav Shach, when he was in his 90s, every year he used to go to the cemetery here, read Tehillim half an hour by a grave of an anonymous woman. His shamash asked him, Rabbi, who is this woman to you? And he said to him, when I was 16, I was very poor. His bar mitzvah was his mother sent him tefillin. That was his bar mitzvah. There was no bar mitzvah. There was no money for lechaim. Rav Chaim Kanievsky got tefillin and they also made lechaim and had cookies. Very fancy from Flatbush wedding. Bar mitzvah. $500,000. That was the bar mitzvah of Chaim Kanievsky. A little bit cognac and cookies, lechaim, mazel tov, and that's it. I go back to learn. So Rav Shach said that when I was 16, 17, every time I wanted to wash my shirt, I only had one white shirt. There was no money for another one. So I had to go to the lake, do laundry over there, and hang the shirt there for a few hours to dry, and was sitting there for hours with the Gemara until the shirt would dry. Without a shirt, because I had no other shirt. And one time this woman passed by, and she asked me, why are you learning Gemara without a shirt? I say, here is my shirt. I just did laundry. I'm waiting for it to get dry. I don't have another shirt. So she ran to her house and got me a shirt. So that was 8 years later. He was still going every year to her grave to read Tehillim in her yortzeit for that shirt that she gave him, which allowed him not to leave the yeshiva for a few hours, that he can sit there normally and learn, when he doesn't have to sit there without a shirt, hide somewhere and learn over there until the shirt will get dry. There's a very famous story about Rav Shach, which we all can learn a lot from it. When he was actually 16, his uncle sent him a letter. I have no kids, and I'm very wealthy, and I have a big factory. And once I die, no one will take over. You're the only relative I have, you're my nephew. I would like to send you a ticket for the train, and you move here, you live by us, and I start teaching you about the business. Who is going to get all of it? Meaning, like today, tens of millions of dollars. Factory, something big. And in those days, they didn't have nice dorm with nice mattresses. Most of the boys were sleeping on the floor. On the floor, literally. No sheets, no nothing. Freezing weather, snow outside, sleeping on the floor. If you are a few years in yeshiva, the more you are promoted, finally you get a mattress. It's not enough for everyone. Only those who are there for a while, they get a mattress. So, after 2 years, he was sleeping on the floor from 14 to 16. It was very difficult for him. Once he got that letter, his uncle told him, in town, we have other yeshivot here and shuls. You're going to stay from. I'm not asking you to go to college, chas v'shalom. You know, bar minan. So I'm just telling you, you're going to be here, learning here. At the same time, I'll teach you the work. So he decided to leave yeshiva. He packed a bag, came to the Rosh Yeshiva, and he told him that he decided to move. And the Rosh Yeshiva said to him, why would you move? He said, well, I have nothing here. I'm sleeping on the floor. My uncle needs me. Send me a ticket. He decided to leave. Once he came out and said goodbye to everyone, he came out to the street. A woman showed up with a mattress. Remember, 2 years he was waiting for a mattress. There was no mattress. A woman dragging a mattress. Young boy, do you learn in this yeshiva? Yes. My husband just passed a week ago. Today I just finished the shiva. I heard you don't have mattresses in this yeshiva. I would like to donate his mattress for his Ilui Neshama. That one of you can sleep on a normal mattress. Do you have a mattress? She asked him. He said, no, I've been sleeping on the floor for 2 years. So she said, okay, that's my gift to you. Mishamayim. You came out, it's your mattress. Now listen. He was already, after he said goodbye to everyone, it's a big embarrassment to show up. You already say goodbye. You're on the way to the train. You have to come back now. What happened? I changed my mind. So he was thinking, 2 years I'm here. I was dreaming about having a mattress every day. It didn't come. Now when I'm already on the way to the train, Hashem sent me the mattress a minute before it's too late. It cannot be coincidence. That means Hashem is telling me, Laser, turn around and go back to yeshiva. You have no more excuses. Your excuse was a mattress. I solved your problem. He realized it. I was only 16. He turned around, he went back into the yeshiva, and the rest is history. Became the leader of the Haredi world. Everyone was following his orders. Who to vote, what to do, what not to do. Became very powerful. When he was close to 20, his Rosh Yeshiva told him, I would like you to marry my orphan relative. She had a relative. She had no parents. He asked him, if we get married, where will I live? I don't have a penny, and I don't know where we're going to live. He said to him, you'll live in my living room. So Rav Shach told him, but there is a couple already living in your living room. And it wasn't a huge living room. I mean, we're not talking months here. It's a small living room. So he said, no problem, we'll hang a sheet from the ceiling and divide the living room to 2 halves. And they live in one side and you live in the other side. And all his friends told him, you're not normal. Every one of us got married and got an apartment. And you are the biggest Talmid Chacham in yeshiva. You should get the greatest apartment and the best girl. Why would you go for this orphan girl? No apartment, no nothing. He said, because the Rosh Yeshiva said so. That's it. End of story. What do you think happened in the end? He got married. He moved in to the half living room. Imagine you want to move your elbow and it goes to the eye of your friend's wife. In the middle of the night. Oh, sorry. Can move. It's not a wall, it's a sheet. That was the condition, Rabotai. So what happened? Shortly after, the Nazis arrived to their town. They already knew Nazi soldiers are in town. Everybody knew what's coming next. So he said to his wife, we don't have an apartment. What keeps us here? Let's get on a boat and go to Eretz Israel. They packed a suitcase, they went on a boat, and they left. A week later, the Nazi closed the port. All his friends wanted to escape. What kept them over there? The apartment that they got. They wanted to sell the apartment, take the money and make aliyah. But to sell an apartment, especially when you're a Jew in those days, no one wants to buy it because they know soon they're going to steal it from you for free. So he couldn't sell it. And what happened in the end? All of them got murdered. And he's the only one that got saved. What saved him? The Rosh Yeshiva said so. And he married that orphan. Did he lose the apartment? He had an apartment. Did he lose money? He had enough money. Did he lose anything? Anyone can lose by doing what Hashem likes. If anyone here think that by me being devoted to Hashem, working on my dvekut and avodat Hashem, fighting with my yetzer hara, giving up nonsense that I like, as a result of that I'm going to lose in my future, you're nothing, excuse my language, nothing but a kofer. Kofer, infidel. Kofer with a beautiful yarmulke and tzitzit and a white shirt and a gemara in your hand. Here, I don't expect to find any kofrim. In universities over there, there's a lot of kofrim that call themselves Orthodox. Some of them don't believe b'chlal that there was a Yetziat Mitzrayim. They believe in gay rights, they believe in all kinds of shtuyot, the Hashem Yerachem, the things that they say in the speeches. But here, everybody here, there's no permission in a holy place like this to be a kofer. To be a kofer means to think that I'm going to give my life to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and results of that is going to stick a knife in my back. זה מה שנקרא in Hebrew, אבא של הכופרים. Those lefties that I came from the Knesset now, I had to see their faces on the way in. One of them even say hello to me, if you only knew how much I crushed him in my speeches. Sometimes people look a little bit different than in reality than on the screen. It took me a second to realize who it was. So over there you have Reshaim. They have only one purpose, to destroy Judaism, destroy the Torah, destroy us. But here, anyone can be chas v'shalom kofer, to think that I'm going to give more hours into Torah. I'm going to work on my midot. I get rid of my laziness and anger and jealousy and all these negative things in me. I learn musar. I become more and more ben Torah. And as results of that, I'm going to lose in my future? How can you even think such thing? What do you think? Baruch Hu Chas v'Shalom is ungrateful? One of the things Hashem hates the most is kfuyei tova. We learned from Amon and Moab. Amon and Moab did not murder us. They just didn't give us water and bread. And Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, they can never convert. The Egyptian Nazis, third generation, they can convert. Why? They gave you a place to sleep. When it was hunger, they hosted you in Eretz Goshen. You had a place to sleep and food to eat. Later they killed you and your children, but don't forget the good days that they had. They gave you a place to live and gave you food when nobody else had food. So those who murder you, obviously I would not let them convert, but their grandchildren and on, why not? Meaning the gratefulness is a key thing here. So if Hashem is so precise when it comes to this and he's not giving up even a bit, you want to blame him that he's worse than Ammon and Moab? He said, I don't want to look at their face. Why? Because they're kfuyei tova. So what are you saying? Hashem, you also kfuyei tova, chas v'shalom. Because I gave my life for the Torah, as results of that I'm not a millionaire. Because I didn't go to college. So first of all, I have news for you. The days that you become a millionaire from college are over. Okay? A Bukharian taxi driver that came 2 years ago to New York make more money than a dentist. Driving Uber. So, yeah, 1 out of 100 doctors may become wealthy. But it's not what it used to be. And if you be a doctor, 99% of the people you will have to take care of are wicked people that Hashem cannot stand. You're going to have Pakistanis, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Nazis, KKK, lots of gays, lots of anti-Semite goyim, all kinds of people who call for the destruction of Jews. They're going to be your patients. Who do you think you're going to take care of in the hospital? What are you going to tell them? No, you Hamas. You Pakistani. No, you an idol worshipper bowing down to the cow every day. I don't want to save you. It's mitzvah to get rid of you. What are you going to do? Well, you have to take care of everyone. You swear when you become a doctor, you take care of everyone. Definitely cannot be a racist. They translate it as a racism. We don't look at the race. We don't care about the race. We care about tzaddik or rasha. That's why we care. Like Rav Avigdor Miller Zatzal keep repeating in all his sichot. You have to program your brain to love the tzaddikim and to hate the reshaim. Don't let any politically correct faker brainwash you. Be'avod reshaim rina, people who fight against Hashem are the enemies of the Jewish nation. Kissing up to them, you join them. You're nothing better than them. If you're not allergic to this kind of people, to these modern reform and conservative reshaim who promote Sodom and Gomorrah laws and destroyed everything authentic in Judaism, if you're not allergic to them, check yourself carefully. You might be maybe even worse than them. That's what Rav Avigdor Miller repeats in every one of his books, hundreds of times. By him, there was no fakeness. You want to be a perfect tzaddik? Learn all his books, know them by heart, live by them. I promise you, first row in heaven. Guarantee. That's the way a Jew should be. Don't need to change a bit. Exactly word by word over there. The number one in a generation in Ashkafa. Never kissed up to anyone, never cared about rating, never cared about what people would say, what about money, what the Reshaim may think, what I will gain, what I would lose. You know the famous joke he was saying, the rabbis of Brooklyn loves me very much. Why? Every week I give a Musar talk, half of the people in the shul leave. They run to different lenient shuls. Can't handle the truth. The question is, you have to ask yourself, who do you want to like you? People or Hashem? Sometimes the only way Hashem would like you is with many people will hate you. It doesn't go together. I say to people, they say, oh, some people criticize you on YouTube. I say, check who criticized me. Reform, conservative, Mechalele Shabbat, gays, Nazis, Christians, Jews for JC. Thank God that they cannot stand me. The day they love me, I have to retire immediately. When this kind of people would speak nicely about me, that means I'm a faker. I kiss up to them, so they like me, of course. If I say that they're great, if I say that, all kinds of things that they like to hear, of course they like me. But Hashem would not stand me. Because it's all lies. We have to stick to the truth. The truth of the Torah is, you have to be allergic to this kind of reshaim. Yes, mitzvah to be mekarev them. Mitzvah to do everything you can to save them before they leave the world reshaim. There's no contradiction. It doesn't mean I have to marry you. Doesn't mean I have to sit with you in a restaurant and eat hummus together. I'm going to give my life to be mekarev you because that's what Hashem wants. At the same time, I'm allergic to you. I'm allergic to your language. I'm allergic to the way you dress. I'm allergic to the way you behave. I'm allergic to the averot you do. My job is to try to prevent as much as I can. As a Jew that has to do kiruv. Every Jew has an obligation to do kiruv, by the way. Not only speakers. How do you do kiruv? If you're talented and you know how to speak and you can make recordings and give it out or write books, fantastic. What happens if you're not so talented in speech? You can be a very smart person, you know how to write, but you can't give a speech in the audience. So you write. What happens if you don't know how to write? You know a lot of Gemara, you know halacha. You're not the type to speak or to write. What do? Support those who knows. Give them some knowledge. They can use your knowledge. What happens if you don't know any of that, but you have a lot of money? Donate tons of money to good kiruv causes. Either possible way to contribute to kiruv is a huge mitzvah. That's what we say, ארור אשר לא יקים את דברי התורה הזאת ואמר כל העם אמן. It doesn't say ארור אשר לא יקיים. יקיים means keep. ארור is the worst curse in the Torah. That's the curse Hashem gave to the Nachash. It's an eternal curse. In the Torah, it doesn't say ארור אשר לא יקיים את דברי התורה הזאת. Because in the Torah, there are reward and punishment for the mitzvot and for the averot. The Torah already say what's the end of Mechalel Shabbat, what's the end of people that do niuf and gezel and all kinds of other things. Avodah Zarah. Torah is very, very open. Nothing is hidden. But over here, it doesn't talk about keeping the mitzvot. Yakim. Yakim means someone is on the floor in the mud and you help him to stand down, back on his feet. The Torah is in the mud. 80% of the Jewish nation are complete Amei Aratzot, which many of them are big Reshaim, Erev Rav, lefty, Sonei Hashem, love Toeva, walking on the streets of Tel Aviv. I don't have to show you what they do. Some of them are innocent. They don't really know. From a young age, they brainwashed them and hunted their neshama, just like the Christian used to do, and still do. We sometimes in 1 hour can save them. I had a lot of guys like this, kibbutznikim from here, guys from America. I never heard a word of Torah. As a matter of fact, one time I was called to speak in a place of a Shiva, lo alechem. They told me, can you come tonight? I said, well, what's tonight? I said, there's a house that the woman sits Shiva there. It's going to be 150 secular Israelis over there. It's a great chance to give a speech. Because where else would you will find them? Remember, there was no Facebook yet, no YouTube. It's 20-something years ago. I went there. I spoke a very strong drasha. In the end of the lecture, 2 Israeli Ashkenazi came to me, very intelligent, educated, and they said, we are shocked. This is the first time in our life we heard a speech in Judaism. They were in their 50s. First time in their life they heard Divrei Torah after 50 years of life. Then they said, we just realized a big mistake we made. What? We are the ones who started the Shinui party in the Knesset. You know who's Shinui? Yesh Atid they call themselves now. Yesh Atid. In Gehenom Yesh Atid for them. All they do is fight the Torah. They do everything they can just to destroy the religion. That's it. Nothing else. They're not suggesting anything to the nation. Just help us to get rid of the yeshivot, of the shuls, of marriage, of kosher food, of conversions. Let us destroy it. 20 seats in the Knesset they have. That's close to 1 million people vote for them. Walking around here. When you walk in Israel, they stand right next to you. They sit next to you. They look at you. And in their heart, they think, I wish I can chop his head off. Those are the people. Because it's not just anti-religion. This is extreme anti-religion. Like to burn the Torah, literally. That's what they want. They hate religion so much, you cannot believe it. This young couple, so naive, so innocent, not bad people. I later got to know them. They say, we only thought that the religion is forcing on other people, but now we just realize it's actually beautiful. When we could not make it into the Knesset, we gave it to Tommy Lapid. Zchuto yagen alav. And he got into the Knesset and got 15 seats. And now his son is there, got 20. This couple, I made them Baalei Tshuva, Haredim. But the damage they made is still destroying us every day. Every day, I just came from the Knesset. That was the conversation today over there. With some of the people in the seats in the government that I, Baruch Hashem, try to influence them to do the right thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's difficult. It's a war for our existence, spiritual existence. I don't have to tell you the word of the Gemara, Gadol HaMachti'o yoter min ha'orgo. Somebody shot you in the head and kill you, very possible that he sent you express to heaven. Yes, you had plans to live, to get married, to have children. You didn't want to live 25 or 22. But most likely send you to a good place. And if not, Hashem can send you back in Gilgul and you start from where you left. You can't lose. If you're innocent, you can't lose. But what happens if he convinces you to leave Mikdash and to go to college? What will happen to you in 3-4 years from now? What will happen to you? You become a modern, faker, influenced by all the rotten people over there, 3-4 years sitting next to you in a class. All day you hear lefty, liberal ideas, and slowly, slowly, all the holiness you absorb here will go down the drain. And if you think you're better than other people who lived here before you and who were much more righteous than you, and it happened to them, it definitely will happen to you. Today, in the old days, you can go to university, people were dressed, the girls there modest, the goyim there were not like today. There was no drugs and no horrible behaving. Everything is open, everything today is kfirah. Do you know what it is to sit 3-4 years with kofrim around you in a class from morning to night? Do you know the language that you hear over there? Do you know what kind of wicked professor you have to look at their face? You're not even allowed to look in their face according to halacha. You know what kind of professors you're going to have there? People who deny there is Hashem, people who deny there is Torah, people who wants to marry men with men, and people who wants to give animals rights more than people. Those are the professors. Here in Israel, they gave $12 million to the cats. And they don't want to give $1 to any yeshiva. As far as they're concerned, let them all die in starvation. What about the cats in the street? They're better for them than those who sit here and learn Torah, even though the Torah said that thanks to the Torah people live. The whole world lives thanks to the Torah. Em lo briti yomam v'layla chukot shamayim v'aretz lo samti. The whole world is living thanks to Lomdei Torah. And they rather kill the Lomdei Torah who gives them oxygen, but they will die for the cats. Here, those are the clowns that sits right here, 10 minutes away from here. Rabotai, everybody here has to know, Parnasa does not come from a degree. It does not come from university. Many people make tons of money, young boys after yeshiva without a day in college. Some people went to university and they don't make nothing. They're just unemployed. They can't find a job. Or if they find a job, they pay them $40,000 a year. There is no guarantee that college will bring you money. If Hashem wants you to be poor, you'll be poor no matter how brilliant you be. There are professors who are unemployed. There are teachers, brilliant mathematicians. They hardly have a job. They don't make money. There are total ignorant fools who own 20 stores. Can't even sign their name in English. I met once one. He took out a ink, put his finger there, and put it like this on a contract. I said, what's this? You have to sign. That's the way I sign. After I challenged him a little bit, I realized he doesn't know how to write his name in English. But he owned 20 sneaker stores. Yes, came from Syria or Lebanon, doesn't speak the language, nothing. In few years made an empire of stores. Jeans, sneakers, and leather jacket. 20 stores. Each store had $2-3 million merchandise. Why? Hashem wanted him to be a billionaire, that's it. He needs him to be brilliant, to know English. How many Bukharians in 47 barely speaks the language and make millions selling diamonds? How many Israelis make $30,000-$40,000 selling cosmetic in Las Vegas? They don't know 2 words in English. To be a sales rep, you have to speak English. 30,000. I go everywhere, I see them. And how many sophisticated philosophers barely pay their bills? שטויות הכל. You have to just aim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm in your hand. Whatever I need, I know you give me. By the way, when you daven for Parnasa, don't make the usual mistake that everyone does. Do not pray for money. I want a lot of money. I want money to buy a house. I want money to get married. I want money to buy a diamond ring to my future wife. I want money to buy this and to buy that. Don't daven like this. Big mistake. When you daven for parnasa, this is what you should say. I heard it from a great legendary chacham. He opened up my eyes 20-something years ago. He said, the way you should daven for parnasa is, Hashem, please give me the exact parnasa I need that will get me the closest to you. Why? Because for Reuven, to be very wealthy will attach him to Hashem like a glue. And to Shimon, poverty will make him a tzaddik, not wealth. Wealth will make him a goy. He ended up marrying a goya. Fame, money, clubs, this, vacations. Ended up with a goya. Why? The money destroyed him. Osher shamur leba'alav lera'ato. But for some people, the poverty is the best thing. Connects them to Hashem. Devotion. יפה שעה אחת בצער ממאה שלא בצער. 1 hour with poverty and suffering, or in heat, or in cold, or whatever the conditions are not ideal, is equal like 100 imperfect conditions. It's literally, it's not an exaggeration. 1 hour with suffering, hard Gemara, very hot, no air condition, or very cold, or your chevruta is not the best metzia. 1 hour like this, in Shamayim count like 100. If you knew it for sure, you would complain? Of course not. Why you complain? You don't believe in Chazal. You don't believe in Chazal. If Chazal says something, that's it. It's not open for negotiation. Nah, I don't see it. I disagree. לא מקובל עליי. Rab Ben Zion Abba Shaul saw a Bachur Yeshiva looking at the bulletin board, reading some flyer there. He came to him, grabbed his hand. Run. There's an old man. Run. What happened, Rabbi? Run. It's pikuach nefesh. Run. He ran after the rabbi. They walked into Porat Yosef. Rosh Yeshiva grabbed the Gemara, any Gemara from the shelf, put it on his feet, opened it up. Sit. What happened? He doesn't know what's going on. Sit. Learn. Wow, you scared me, Rabbi. הפחדת אותי. חשבתי something happened. So that's exactly what you don't understand. You are one of the only few people on earth that revive the world. Thanks to you, everybody breathe. Thanks to you, everybody think. Thanks to you, everybody eats, get married, have children, build homes. You are my partners to the creation, Lomdei Torah. Without this, there would not be war. Hashem made the nation of Israel. If they will accept the Torah, I'll keep the world. If not, I bring the world back to Tohu Vavohu. It's a famous midrash. Almost 2,500 years, all the angels in Shamayim were waiting for the moment that Hashem will offer the Torah to the nation of Israel. If they say no, that will be the end of the world. And if there is one day without learning Torah, a minute, somewhere in the world is finished. That means every one of you right here is a partner of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the entire world. And to the next world as well. The consequence of what's going to come. So do you think you have permission to waste time? This is the commander soldiers of Hashem. In the army, you have two kinds of soldiers. One soldier sometimes is equal like 10,000. Driver, gardener, someone make toast in a cafeteria. It's also a soldier. But then you have the F-16 pilots. It goes to Lebanon, to Syria over there with all this chemical weapon. Boom, bombing the place, saving all of us. Obviously, it's not the same like the guy who makes toast in Tel Aviv here. And at 12 p.m. he's already going home. Same thing over here. There are religious people and there are religious people. You have those who barely learn 1 hour a week. And then those who learn 1 hour a day. Then you have those who learn 10, 15, 20 hours a day. The more you learn, the more you accumulate. 60,000 mitzvot per hour. Do you know what it is? Imagine this. You learn 1 hour Gemara or Halacha. It counts like you put tefillin on your hand 60,000 times. Think about it. And tefillin is one of the three otot. Oti ben yu v'nechem ve'ale ot al yadecha. It's a very important mitzvah. But it's still nothing compared to Torah. לימוד תורה כנגד כולם, include תפילין. לימוד תורה כנגד כולם. There is a moment in life that if you're really devoted, that Hashem will give you the Torah in a gift. You have to prove that you deserve to get that gift. And I will finish with this story. If you remember it, it will give you a push for your future. There used to be a very big Chacham, the Sdeh Chemed, Rav Chizkiah Medini. He was an average student, Talmid, average, not the star of the yeshiva, nothing special. He himself testified, I was nothing special. I had one enemy in yeshiva, one Rasha, that was jealous with him. And this Rasha came to the Arab cleaning woman over there, gave her some money, bribe, that she will make up a story that this Chizkiah, the young boy Chizkiah, is messing around with her, the Arab cleaning lady. And she came to the Rosh Yeshiva, and she said, you know, you have a boy here, over here, Chizkiah, this Chizkiah, it's not a modest boy. I don't know, he tried to do bad things. The Rosh Yeshiva obviously didn't believe it, because he knew that he was a tzaddik. So he called him in, he said, listen, there's already rumors around, Chilul Hashem, maybe you should go away for a few months, few weeks, few months. I would send someone to call you when everyone will forget about it. But right now you're around, people talking. I don't want Chilul Hashem. Go somewhere. No problem, Rabbi. If you think that's what I have to do, I'll have to do it. He moved to a different town, found himself a room, was sitting learning by himself. Few months later, this Arab Goya, she felt bad with what she did. She asked around, where can I find this guy, Chizkiah? Where can I find him? They told her he went to this city. She went there, she asked around, in the end she found him. She said to him, I came, I'm so sorry, you know that I lied, but this guy paid me money. I'm willing to confess in front of the whole yeshiva that it was all a rumor, it was all a lie, alila. But all I'm asking from you is, ask the Rosh Yeshiva not to fire me. I need the money, I work here. If he can just keep me in my job, I will say everything, exactly what happened. He was very happy, finally my name will get clear. He packed all his stuff, he was about to leave. Then he started to think, what's going to happen right now? I'm going to come to yeshiva, and the truth will come out. And there will be another 3 weeks of Chilul Hashem. Everyone in town will speak about that Rasha. And it will make Hashem upset. Yes, I will enjoy. My name will get clear and everyone will apologize to me and kiss my hand. Welcome back, we're so sorry we didn't believe you. I'll feel great. It's great feeling. But what about Hashem? I can't do that. He said to her, go. I forgive you, go back. He stayed there. He didn't want to go back. Now he testified that moment, until that moment, he could not understand the depth of the Gemara. It was too hard for him. That moment Hashem opened up his head, everything he read, immediately he chapped, right away. And he became one of Gdolei Israel in all the Dorot. Gift from Shamayim, literally. I asked my Rav once, how is it possible that every question I ask you, you know every answer according to all the shitot? Rav Eliashiv, Rav Ovadia, Rav Ben Zion, Rav Wozner. How is it possible? He said Torah, it's not how many hours you learn. It's how you learn. If you put all your life into it, your progress is a lot faster than average learners. Because Hashem see you give your life for the Torah, He will give you candies. Every once in a while, open another piece of your brain, and another piece, until you become Gdol Israel. It's not like math. You're going to learn 100 hours, you're going to know X amount. You learn 200 hours, you know double. You learn 500 hours, you know 5 times more. Gemara is not like that. First 100 hours you learn X, the second 100 hours you're going to learn a lot more. And the third one a lot more and more and more and more. And then after you finish the Shas once or twice, everything is going to be, you're going to swim quickly. But it's not that. It's how you learn. With Kedusha, with Tzniut, with Shmirat HaEinayim, with time is time. And stay away from everything liberal. And definitely don't even think about wasting the next few hours of your life sitting in Sodom and Gomorrah, meaning college. Wasting your entire future in this world and in the next world. Devote your life for the Torah. You're going to see nobody that became Gadol BaTorah was ever poor anymore. Those days are over. In the old days, you had Chafetz Chaim, poor. This Gdol Olam, poor. Because they didn't want him to become rich. Rav Steinemann had millions of dollars going through his hands. He did not keep $1 to himself. They came to him from Kupat Ha'ir one time to, if he can give a little donation that they can take pictures and put it in a flyer. That was Wednesday. He said to them, no, I cannot do it. They were so nervous. The holy Rav Steinemann, Ish HaEmet, did not want to give us tzedakah like the rest of the Gdolim. Maybe he sees something that we're not doing right. Friday they came back to him. Rabbi, we're very nervous. If you didn't give us, that means it was something maybe we should be fixing. He said, no. It wasn't about you. But now I have. On Wednesday I didn't have $100. I wanted to give you $100. I didn't have. Baruch Hashem, now I have. Meaning he was living from hundreds of dollars a month. And there is a billionaire in Monsey who offered him that every night he sleep in his house, he guaranteed to give him $300,000. Now once he went to sleep there. It's like having a faucet with money. Open as much as you want. But he didn't want. He wanted to stay poor. They offered him to fix his house. The kitchen was from 60 years ago. Couldn't open the door. There's no wheels. Don't touch anything. Keep it as it was. Same thing Chazon Ish. They wanted to be poor. Today, unfortunately, nobody wants to be poor. So, if you don't want to be poor, one thing I want you to know, that the Torah is not what's going to make you poor. If you think that you being devoted to Torah is going to affect your parnasa in a negative way, that's kfirah. Because it's written in the Torah, I gave you homes that you did not build, houses full of wealth that you did not fulfill, wells that you did not dig. Melechet tzadikim naaset bidei acherim. The work of the righteous people is done by others. Done by others. We had one matmid in our yeshiva, Rav Eliyahu Buchbut. He's Av Bedin in Bet Shemesh now. Baal Tshuva came to yeshiva. He learned in such a way you never saw such a matmid. The best in the history of the yeshiva. Became shochet, moel, sofer, dayan, everything you can become, he became. One time he needed to renew his driver's license in New City, next to Monsey. He got to the municipal offices over there, the motor vehicle. Do you know anyone in the history of United States that renew his license without showing up in the office? Show me one. Rab Buchbut is one. He came to me smiling, Shtabach Shemo. I don't have to go to the motor vehicle. I send my license with another guy. They renew my license without me coming. Why? For us, it would not happen. We'll have to sit there for hours with all the people over there, if you know what I mean. And take pictures. Can you read? Tell me what number is over there. Why? Because we don't give our life for the Torah. אבל someone that gave his life for the Torah, כל המקבל על עצמו עול תורה, מעבירים ממנו עול דרך ארץ. He had a little Toyota Corolla from the days of Antiochus. From the day of Antiochus. Here's the car. How I was driving Brooklyn, coming back, Lakewood. No, the car drives forever. One day he decided to do Aliyah. He sold it to another Avrech in Yeshiva. I was thinking to myself, oh, this guy, what is waiting for him? Because as much as he's great, is nothing compared to this matmid. For this matmid, Hashem does miracles every day. The next day, I show up to the yeshiva after lunch break. I see the hood of the car is open, smoke all over Muncie. He comes to me and says, I can't believe it, I just bought this car yesterday and the radiator exploded. I said, of course, this car was driving on a miracle for 10 years already. What do you think? He's going to do the same miracles for you? Why? Melech tzadikim, Hashem push motor vehicle, problem, work, degree, job, money. What do you think he has? He has a house, he has a nice car, his wife has a car, he has kavod, he's dayan. He became dayan with dayanim that are 30 years older than him. When he came to be a dayan, they laugh. Come back in 20 years. His rabbi called him, Rav Peretz, is one of Gdolei HaSfaradim. He said, I'm willing to do a test with you. I will come to Beit Din and test all of you. If he will do less than any one of you, kick him out. They got nervous. Welcome. Why? Everything you know, he knows. He writes book, you should see the הסכמות of Rav David Yosef, Rav Yitzchak Yosef to his books. גדול בחושן ומשפט, בקי. Give shiurim. What? Used to be a personal trainer. Training goyim in Manhattan. Devotion. That's it. I found the truth. From this moment on, nothing else matters. That's the message today. Thank you very much. Sorry I stole 15 minutes from your probably dinner time. Torah is a better food than food. So forgive me. Thank you very much. Good night.